been working with Transganization for past 5 years now with various entrepreneurs and corporates. The journey has been on roller coaster ride, an amazing journey that we have had. But this part of Transganization, where we're meeting the industry leaders on the ground who are not only doing great business, great work, but also having a great social impact in the world. A personality by the name of Mr. Narayan, who has been in KPMG for past 17 years and is currently the partner and lead for the social sector. He has been a great friend for past 10-15 years. We have worked together as well, and I'm sure what perspective he's going to give about connecting business with social responsibility is going to be amazing. I'm going to meet all of you on 25th of November 2019 in Hotel Renaissance in the morning 7 a.m. Thank you very much for being here. I'm really excited about what we are going to do together today, because the last session of SETU, which had Mr. Shailesh Haribhakti, actually put the whole thing to a different level. Okay. He really said that, and which we as Transganization have always been preaching and talking to people, that we cannot look at organization sustainability purely as a sustainability in a space called as economy. We have to look at the playground as the world itself. That means you cannot survive as an organization if you cannot survive as a world and humankind. Now, this whole thing opened up the whole paradigm of the basic definition of business has changed in the minds of people, because sustainability as a concept cannot be considered purely as a one single entity concept. Now, you have been working in a space which is completely soaked into business on one side and social impact on the other side. It's a very interesting combination, and I feel that these two things can't be seen separately. And when we were having a conversation of late, I realized that you are actually coming to the convergence of these two things coming down. So consider this conversation between us to talk about that particular thing before we actually see you in full-fledged avatar in the SETU Talks that happens on 25th of this month.
Sure.
So can you please give me an understanding of what do you mean when you say the responsible business?
Sure, Rohit. Thank you. Thanks so much. So, what I believe is, this is not something so bipolar. It is not a magnet where you have a positive on one side and negative on one side, and then this side does only positive, this side does only negative. It doesn't work that way. Can you imagine, there is a business where the whole day they will do pop and earn a lot of money, and then they'll come back and do only good things in life. Is it even think so? To me, doing business should be doing good business. There is nothing called a business that I am not thinking of doing good, and then I select a separate time where I do only good or I give back to the society. So, unless you ingrain seamlessly the thought that you are serving a society by doing this. Serving a society doesn't always mean only philanthropy where you don't earn anything for you, or you are also part of the society. Right. You have a large organization, you also have a responsibility to those people. So my view of social responsibility and a corporate social responsibility is how responsible you are to society and not what you are giving back to society.
Okay, so basically that what you mean by when you say there's nothing called as social responsibility as a pure function, the business has to be socially responsible in itself. Yeah. In your experience, have you seen any these businesses which are actually thinking of business being existing for a social cause rather than social cause being a part-time activity?
Yeah, sitting in Mumbai, the biggest example that you can see is Tata's. They've taken, in my view, the JRD in fact promoted this concept when he built Jamshedpur, that unless the people in that area are going to be benefited, unless the suppliers who I use are going to be benefited, only me making money in the steel business is not what I want. And look at what they do. 80% of their equity is with two large trusts.
Right.
So in many sense, they walk the talk. They said,
correct,
we not only do good business, and even the money that we make out of this good business predominantly goes to the social good. But my point is, I don't want everybody to be like Tata. It may not be possible. But when you do business, for all the stakeholders involved in the business, if they are benefited, that is social responsibility. Society is not an esoteric thing that is living somewhere else, that you do business in a vacuum and then you go back to the society and give it back. Society is where you're doing business. So if you're a responsible businessman, you are a responsible social citizen as well.
Correct. So that means now it brings out a very beautiful paradox. An entrepreneur who is bogged down by daily struggles, the cash flow issues, the issues with the vendors, government regulations changing every day, demonetization happening on one side, and then there is GST coming, and there is RERA coming. So much dynamism. In that, do you think by keeping this thought in mind, entrepreneur will be much more calmer and much more relaxed while he's doing business, or you think there is no connection between the two?
So there is nothing called being relaxed when you do business in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Business by itself has its challenges.
Right.
So when you do business, if you think the ulterior motive of the business is just making money, then forget the ethical moral part of it. The business doesn't last long. The businesses that are there only for the ulterior purpose of just making money, the bottom line, are not the ones that are sustainable. So I'm saying, for a very selfish reason of your business being sustainable, do good business.
Great. That's a beautiful statement that you made actually. And that is, I think, the bottom line of the discussion that we're having right now here. The responsible business is something where you feel you live the morals of dharma that in your karma bhumi called as business, and that is what I think this all boils down to. One last question before we really see you in, and I'm really excited about that one-day session that you're going to have with us in SETU. The question is that on one side there is government which is doing a lot of stuff on social impact. On other side there is SMEs and there is large corporates who are trying to do their bit for the whole thing. Is there a way that we can converge these two things so that we can bring a larger impact in the society that we are living in, rather than things happening in silos in different pockets?
The government is also coming around. We do work a lot with government, and a couple of years back we had an event called Maha CSR with this Maharashtra government, where the chief minister, the governor, they all came together and invited the corporates to say, come, let's do it together. Now, so I see businesses as extension of the society and government, and I see government as a representation of businesses. So in my view, it's not as if we have just nominated them to do much larger societal cause. And as businessmen who are paying them tax, it's our money using which this societal good is being done.
Right.
We are doing our bit in a smaller manner. So I don't see, of course, there should be an acceptance, there should be the government also lending its hand and the private sector also understanding the compulsions of government and working together. To me, it started to happen.
Perfect. I think with this, it's exciting to all the viewers also. I feel when I'll see you on 25th of this month in the SETU session, you will elaborate these things in a much detailed fashion. And looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time.
Seeing you all.
Thank you.